Hello one and all, and welcome to another Mage stream. And, like my last video, it is featuring the Dawn of Man. I am the Arcade Mage for the wellreadmage.com, which is a website that has writers from all over the globe reviewing and writing editorials about video games and video game culture. And today's game, Dawn of Man, was kindly provided by Madruga Works, who have created essentially this really fun RTS slash sim slash survival game that takes place in the Paleolithic Age all the way up to the Iron Age. And so you're going through the Paleolithic, Mesolithic, Neolithic, and then you're going from the Copper, Bronze, Iron. I'm trying to think if there's any more. Let's go to the tech tree, yeah. Nope, Copper, Bronze, Iron. And, yeah, in the first episode, essentially, it was kind of getting a hang of the game, getting a familiarity with the mechanics, and starting my tribe off. We started out with essentially 6 or 7 individuals, and now we're up to 11. And as you can see down at the bottom right, we actually just unlocked one of the milestones for surviving 2 years. And essentially the way this game works is that there are 2 categories: open world free play and challenge mode. And the way you unlock challenge mode is by obtaining milestones in the free play. So essentially kind of proving that you're able to play the game well in order to take on these challenges. And with me, as always, I am joined by Belle, our level 17 Meowier of Light, who is currently pawing my face. And essentially in the first episode, we got the hunting and gathering. And so essentially that's just learning how to find materials, find resources, and then we started crafting the drying racks for skins and the drying racks for food, which allows the villagers to prepare clothing and food to survive the winter. In addition to that, we actually domesticated our first dog right before the end of the first stream, which was pretty fun. Dog. And so without further ado, let's get back on the road and get this game started back up again. Ooh, we're gonna have some dog babies. Do not slaughter my dog, please. Thank you. Whew. Get kind of worried. So I think what we'll do first of all is to appease the spirits for allowing us to domesticate dogs. Put another tree full of dead human skulls in it, because that's a thing. And, as always, we have our resident pack of wild animals located relatively close to our camp. Although they've been pretty kind in killing herbivores and leaving their dead carcasses for us to gather, which is nice. Now, one of the issues I need to work on, actually, is finding more flint. So what's actually nice about these work areas is that it allows the workers to kind of work on autopilot, so you don't have to worry about micromanaging them. So it just kind of has these general work areas with different resources you want to harvest, versus having to pick each individual area, like in other RTSs where there's more micromanaging. In addition to that, you can allow a maximum number of people to potentially come in here to do it. Oh, that's cool. That's the first time we've had that notification, so we have a human child that was born. Awesome. Which, of course, that means I'm at max capacity of 12. There we are. Okay. And production limit. So I found some flint. Okay, so where are we at? Unlock the Mesolithic era. So basically I just need to... Technically I'm pretty close. I just need 1, 2, and 3, so I just need 4 more points in order to unlock the next era. The problem of having flint spears, axes, and flint picks is I'm already running low on flint as it is. Oops, I keep forgetting. Are you serious? Emmett just got struck by lightning. How... I appreciate that they put that in the game, but at the same time, it's like, how can you even control for that? How can one control the weather? I don't know if they died. They might have. Unhappy. Let's see why they're unhappy. I can't imagine why. I guess we'll just let it ride for a while just to kind of see what happens. That's problematic because I don't know why they're unhappy. Oh, well, now they're at 76%. Alright. So essentially I'm running into a problem that pretty much anyone who's familiar with RTSs runs into at some point. That is a depletion of resources near your nexus of operations. And so obviously you have to go further and further out, but obviously with this type of game, you really can't start spreading your people out. But at the same time, the longer it takes them to go out and get stuff and come back, the less resources you have over the course of time. Let's just see. Let's see how far away I can build something. I've only done this by accident, so let's see what happens when I officially declare war on a cave lion. That did not help me. What's the point of declaring an alarm if they're not going to kill the cave lion? Will you please kill the cave lion before it kills a human being versus just my dogs? Thank you! Alright. Yes, dog, please avenge your fallen dog that's over here. I guess waste on whatnot? Don't just eat it. There we go. Butcher it. and turn it into clothes. So essentially right now I'm just working on unlocking the different milestones because this is sort of the free play sandbox. And then once you start unlocking enough milestones, you can go into the challenge mode, which is more of the, I guess, official scenarios that one would associate with RTSs like Command and Conquer or StarCraft. And so far I've gotten, at least in this particular video, we started out after surviving 2 years. And so right now I'm working on unlocking the Mesolithic era, which you do with your tech tree. And you essentially get knowledge points by killing different species, doing different activities, such as harvesting new stones or ores, or finding new different plants to eat. So essentially the idea is that as your tribe gains more knowledge, then they can proceed down the tech tree versus more arbitrary tech trees that other RTSs have. Which I guess we could do that right now. So, spirituality, so far we just have sticks with skulls on them for their spirituality, so let's see what... A bigger stick with bigger skulls on it. Fair enough. I can live with that. Put you sort of in the center of everything. How about that? That's how I know you like RTSs when you want to place things just right. And what totems do is, if your villagers are unhappy, such as Dre, then essentially they'll come over here and worship at the totems to help cheer themselves up. The idea is like that's, if you're not filling the wants and needs of your tribe, they're going to be taking time worshiping and asking help from the gods when they could be doing other stuff. Even though the welfare is at 79% overall, so that's not too terrible. Yeah, make those children work. I've done all this, which makes me wonder how I unlocked the Mesolithic. So I assume to be like any standard tech tree that once you unlock all the skills in one set, you can go to the next set. Unless you have to do something else. And this is, I forget what it's called, Primal Vision. And so basically this shows you all the different resources that are available for you to harvest, both in terms of stuff like ores in the mountains, or plants and bushes, and also animals as well. And the animals are actually color-coded from green to red, depending on their ease or difficulty within which to hunt them. So, for example, with some bison, they are, depending on their sex and or age, because younger and older specimens, the younger ones and the older ones are easier to kill than the ones in the prime of their life, which makes sense in real life. I don't know if there's any difference between genders. But also, for example, over here we got the Megaloceros. They're pretty easy to kill. So your herbivores are easier to kill than your carnivores, or, like we have here, with our, was it woolly rhino? Yeah, woolly rhino. Because woolly rhinos were around throughout the Paleolithic up through the last Ice Age. That's when you had a lot of the megafauna. And essentially, megafauna were just bigger versions of what we have today. So if I recall, there was like a sloth the size of a Volkswagen Beetle, like the ones from the 60s and 70s. What's actually kind of neat about this game, too, is they actually took species that existed in the Paleolithic, Mesolithic, Neolithic etc., and actually put them in the game for you to be able to hunt. Like, I wouldn't really want to hunt this woolly rhino because it's probably going to destroy my tribesmen if I try to attack them. Unfortunately, right now, I don't have any easy prey to try and hunt. So I could go over here, but it'd take time for my workers to go over there and then come back, if successful, and then harvest the resources. Because some RTSs just have generic animals to hunt, but this, at least this company has put some thought in the type of animals that are in the game. So let's see if we can... Okay, she's fishing. Alright, good for her. Guess my hunters will do their thing. What I like about this game is you can actually assign work areas, so... And bartering in this, see, as you can see on the right column, you have your settlement stock. On the left column, you have your trader stock, and then the value of items. So if you're wanting to buy something, like if I want to buy just some bones. If I want some bones, I could buy some, and then it shows... Which, even though this is a bartering, I don't know if we have commission. But anyway, so the trade value to get a single bone would be 3. So then I could, if I have a lot of flint, I could sell that, and then once it evens out, you can confirm the trade. But so far, really haven't seen anything I've wanted from traders, because I've been doing pretty good on all my tools. And pretty much right now, I'm pretty good on raw resources as well. So anyway, what you can do is place a work area. So if I needed more sticks, then you could find an area that has sticks, and then press X to drop that. So that's a general work area the workers will go to, and once you've set work areas, you can determine how many workers are allowed in there. Like, let's see if I can get there. Here we are, like this one. Up to 5 workers can come in here to harvest plants and berries, and they can harvest an infinite amount. And so we're moving into the winter of the 3rd year. What do I need to do for this? Ooh, that's cool. I wonder what the pottery's for. Oh, water, right. And well digging, that's cool. Okay, so I wouldn't have to be dependent on a river. And so as you can see, I've got my drying racks here in the middle of my settlement, which is where you can dry food to make it last longer, because you have to worry about spoilage in this game, and so if you're drying the food, it lasts longer than the raw versions. And then you have the skins dryer here, so once you've harvested skins from animals you've hunted, you can then turn those into clothing for the winter months, and the summer months as well, because you have leather and I forget what the other type of clothing is. Yeah, just sort of like just basic furred skins and then leather for summer. That's one thing I like about this game, is that it allows you to micromanage as much as you want without punishing you for doing so or not micromanaging. Because some RTSs, if you don't micromanage, you kind of get put at a disadvantage. What are you waiting on? Logs. Okay, so... Okay, that's what I forgot to do. Let's start this deforestation. And usually it'll tell you, like, I was wondering why the totem wasn't built, and usually it'll tell you why. Like, for example, told me, hey, you need some logs, and then that made me realize I forgot to send out some woodworkers. And so, like I said, I basically just set the amount of workers that can come into this area to, and just a limit on how many items that resource type my settlement can have at any one time. So the max is 20. After 20, they'll start doing other stuff. And then depending on the season, it'll kind of determine what they're doing as well. Because obviously in the winter, they really can't harvest wild berries and plants because most of them are dead. Oh, and you can actually domesticate dogs. Oh, that's so I'm praying. My bad. You can actually domesticate animals in this and start animal husbandry and plant crops as you proceed down the tech tree. And in the Paleolithic, you really don't have to worry about you have to worry about raiders, but you don't necessarily have to worry about other settlements attacking you. Once you start moving into the Neolithic and the Bronze Age and stuff like that, you're going to have to start worrying about other settlements trying to attack yours. Nice. I got my bigger... Man, look at all those skulls. Not to mention the map is really big. Actually, yeah, really, really big. There we go. And so what's nice about this is, let's say you're looking for resources and having fun. What you can do, go to quick menu, move camera to settlement, which is a nice feature given how big the map is. I'm just seeing, okay, so you can build. I'm just seeing how far away from your core settlement you can actually build something. Because like most RTSs, once you start depleting resources near your settlement, you have to go farther and farther. Survive the winter, knowledge +1. I kind of feel bad I'm cutting down all the trees, but... You can add a tanner, why not? Although, again, this with an RTS, even though it's completely arbitrary where you put these, I always like to think, like, okay, if it actually was a real civilization and I was having a tannery, of course I wouldn't really want it that close to the food, but it makes sense to have it near the waterfront so you could just dump it in the water. We'll build 2 of them, why not? I think that worked? No, it did not. Boo to me. Pretty close to food production, but I don't think they're necessarily worried about cholera too much at this point in history. King Cholera. frustrating. Four new people. Some of your people have no tools. Cave. Oh. Where are we at? Please don't eat my people. Okay. Well, safety numbers, guys. And gals. Some of your people have no tools. That probably means raw resources. Need to start looking around for more of those. Bear, don't eat the other bear. I actually want to know. Thanks. I don't need the FAQ. I actually need to know what I need. So what we can do is actually go in here to the storehouses to see what I have. Look at this ancient person moving so slow. Just think, she's only 18. Got me some bones. I need more bones. Who knew bones would be so important? Oh my gosh, all my workers are ancient. Let's go a little faster. It's painful to watch. So 10, 10, 3. So okay, so we got plenty of room. Actually, no, I don't think that third one got built. Build storage. There we go. Flint is actually what I'm having the most difficulty finding. There's some. Which flint was used, obviously, for spearheads all the way up until 100 years ago. Actually, there's still, I guess, a pastime or hobby, sort of like historical recreationists. Because throughout history, different civilizations had different technology for flint knapping, creating like arrowheads and tools, axes, basic cutters, choppers, things like that. And so each culture kind of had their own way of doing it, their own technology on how to break the stones up, how they wanted to shape the arrowheads, all that fun stuff. And so that's actually a really good fingerprint for archaeological digs when they are trader. For archaeological digs, whenever they are looking at the different tools that were left behind to kind of get an idea of what culture may or may not have been there, that can also give you a good clue as to trade routes in prehistory, both in terms of the mixings between different peoples, but also the movement of peoples throughout Eurasia to North America, all that fun stuff. And so a lot of people nowadays, like archaeologists and stuff, will try and take flint and try and recreate the historical tools to try and figure out specifically how they did it, what tools they need, what tools they needed to make the tools, and how they did it, to try and get better informed about how that society operated. Speaking of flint, I got a lot of flint, but you need more flint. So I wonder why it said I needed tools, because I've got picks, axes, harpoons for fishing, spears for hunting. Bifaces, those are essentially double-sided tools. Karek has contracted an infection. Gross. I didn't know that could happen. Is that the same person that got hit by lightning? That's unfortunate for them. That's actually kind of cool, the different ways you can die in this game. I just figured it would be some pretty basic, like you just got killed by alternative enemies, because generally how most RTSs go is that, you know, you create your units and they're destroyed by the opponent's units, and that's that. And so that's actually kind of, you know, I see prayer worked. And that's actually kind of interesting. That's how this sort of pulls in elements of the survival genre versus just a purely simulator RTS genre. Is that apparently I've had someone getting killed, well, I've had a couple people get killed from opponents, but someone got killed by lightning, I believe. I never saw the body, though. This guy's got an infection. That's crazy. The well-read Mage settlement is at 67%. Good to know I got logs. I feel like I'm kind of stuck. Maybe I need to required for totem and megalithism. Megaliths, ancient monuments, all that fun stuff. So maybe I need to build some slings. I don't know. Sure, let's make some slings. Why not? Ooh, I don't know if I've set these fishing ones right. Not that bad boy. It's gonna be stupid enough to wander in the area. Let's see. Let's have the ability for 3 people to do it. I think I adjusted that. I hope I did. Good. I'm not completely stupid. Oh right, I forgot. I can actually set hunting as well if I wanted to. I didn't really want to do that because I didn't feel comfortable with it. I still think I will. Fish still gives them the necessary food and protein that they need. Kind of paranoid now. Wonder if someone else is gonna hit by lightning. Can you get hit by lightning for me? It'd be cool to see Varab. Look at him. Miserable. God just needs to put him out of his misery. It's like, pow! Foley artist, A+. %. I wish I knew why. got flint, so let's see. Requires tech copper smelting. That doesn't help me. Right now what I'm trying to do is figure out how to advance to the next age, because I've unlocked all the tech for Paleolithic. Knowledge times 15. Okay. Okay. Okie dokie. We'll let things ride. I mean, no one's watching this right now, so... That's how the sausage is made, folks. Sitting here watching your, Now what I could do... Trouble is, I don't want to overstrain my resources. I need to keep what I have, because if I have more people than resources... That's good. Actually, putting up the general... That's actually really good. I didn't realize how helpful that would be. Putting up the general work areas for hunting. So that hunting's been kind of set on autopilot, so I don't have to necessarily worry about going into Primal Vision and finding an individual animal and trying to kill it on a one-on-one basis. Which is good, because then I can start... I'm not sure how meat's going to dry in a rainstorm, but that's just me. To start creating skins for the winter for my population, food for the winter for my population, and leather, even though it's sort of out of season right now, but... Oh man, putting up those hunting things is probably the best thing I could have done. We need more skull trees. Nice. And I got some knowledge from that too. I'm actually probably pretty close to what I need. 14. So I think what I'll probably do is once I get enough knowledge to unlock the Mesolithic stage, we'll probably cut the stream at that point. And then when I start up the stream next time for the next episode, for the 0 people who watch this, then we can advance to the Mesolithic stage and start getting a handle on some of the more complicated elements. Start moving into mining, making more complicated buildings which can increase your population, digging wells, having fortifications, domestication of crops and animals. Oh, gosh, I'm stupid. Neolithic. Okay, let's go back to Mesolithic. Processing of grain, pottery crafting, to okay. Not too many complicated things to learn in Mesolithic. Neolithic is where we're going to get some interesting stuff. And I actually like how the buildings deteriorate over time, because that's pretty accurate to what would happen. So you have to worry about upkeep. Although I would like an option to make the item menu in the top right a little bit bigger. Alright, that's going to build me another. Those are human skulls, by the way. Well, I guess they could just be fake. Like they do that worship their ancestors, tree of life, all that nonsense. Oh, I better cut down the trees that give me tannin. Smooth move there, John. Also, I've been using tannin as well. Yep. Whoops. But also been using tannin as well. Run! Tempting to unlock the next era. Nice, check that out. All the mages are pretty dang happy to live in the settlement. I can live with that. And so, actually, I think one of the things that's making them unhappy is the lack of food and clothing. And tools. As a result of not hunting as many animals as I needed to. So I think we'll wrap it up there, and in the next episode what we'll do is actually unlock the Mesolithic stage of human civilization and start going from there towards the Neolithic. And also unlock a third milestone. I'm actually pretty close to 4 milestones, so maybe in the next stream we actually unlock 2 milestones, because after that you get to the Neolithic stage, so... So without further ado, we will end the stream here. I am the Arcade Mage, streaming this and talking pretty poorly into a microphone, the courtesy of the Well-Read Mage website, which you can go to at thewellreadmage.com, and it is a video game review and collaborative site with writers from all around the globe. There are some good thought pieces on there. There are polls, there are contests, there are reviews, historical essays, looking at the terminology and concepts within gaming, multiple podcasts. A whole podcast network is starting to appear from the ground up on the Well-Read Mage, with multiple video game oriented podcasts. And what I'm playing today is The Dawn of Man by Madruga Works, which you can reach them at Madruga Works on Twitter and their website. And you can check out the Well-Read Mage again on their website, as well as at the Well-Read Mage on Twitter. And I am the Arcade Mage. Nice introduction there. I am the Arcade Mage. You can reach me at the Arcade Castle on Twitter, and you can check out my website and the projects I'm working on at www.arcadecastle.com. Thank you, as always, for checking this out for a few seconds before leaving. Have a good day.